So, quick as I can, I'm going to show you what we need to do for our class task. I'm going to unwrap this, going to edit mode, pushing tab, and then U to unwrap. I'm going to choose Smart UV Project. Island margin, going to increase that. A couple of clicks, and then I click OK. I'm going to UV editing, and we can see my monkey head is now all unwrapped. I need to now make an image. Make an image to actually store all my paint. So in this area here, I need to essentially make an image. This looks a little bit, there we go, let's move that across. Hit the new button. Don't leave it as untitled. This is going to be monkey, and I strongly recommend you put the word texture. That makes it really clear what's the texture and what's the model. I'm going to increase the size, times 3, times 3. And I would also recommend changing your base color to something suitable, like brown in this case, and I'm going to go OK. That's created a brown image. It's not attached to the monkey yet. It's also not saved. So I'm going to click the word image, save as. I'm going to pop this on the desktop just for this, and that's called monkey texture. And I'm going to go save the image. Now it's about connecting. I'm going to shading. Once I click shading, this window down the bottom here is where the action's going to be. Over on the right hand side, I need to go to the materials. That's the second from the bottom. It looks a little bit like a rugby ball, I suppose, or a soccer ball, depending on your angle. I'm going to go new. And these things are called nodes. They look complicated. They kind of are, I guess. But essentially, the bit we're interested in is base color. In the beginning, base color is white. So if I was to change the color, that's not popping up like normal. There we go. If I change the color to green, the monkey head goes green. If I change it to, again can't see, to blue, my monkey head goes blue. However, I don't want just one solid color. I want to be able to paint. So, just zooming out slightly, you go and add, Shift A to add, or I can click the add button. And rather than go and find through all of these lists, which I think it's like texture, image, texture, that would be where I'd find it, I typically go add, click search and type image. If I can type. And then I would choose that one. Obviously I only need one, so I can delete as normal. I'm going to connect color to base color. So I click, left click, pull, while keeping my left finger down, hover over, and you'll see the line changes color slightly, and I drop it. The color box next to base color has disappeared because that's not in charge of the color of my monkey head anymore. It's now an image. I don't have an image open yet, so I need to go and open it. So I click open, I'm going to the desktop, that's where I saved it. You shouldn't save it there, I'm just doing it for the video. And then I click open image. And now my monkey head has gone the color, the base color of that picture that I created. I now no longer need this layout. I want a layout that's a little bit easier for me to paint. So I'm going to click texture paint. I have various different brushes: draw, soften, smear, clone, fill, etc. So I'm going to just start with the brush, zoom in here, and fairly quickly on the right hand side I have some of the buttons that you need the most is color. So if I give him or her blue eyes, I need to adjust the radius to being the right size. I can either do it on the right hand side or the letter F, F for Flynn, and then you can make it bigger, or F and then move it into the center and make it smaller. And I'll give a Suzanne monkey blue eyes. If I zoom in, the brush stays the same size, so whether you zoomed in or not matters. If I look over on this side, you'll see somewhere that looks like it's right there. That looks like the blue eyes, and it's where the color is being saved. give it some, I don't know, some crazy pink here, just for the demonstration purposes. There we go. Obviously spend more time and doing a good quality job. I now need to save that image, otherwise I will lose my paintwork. It says image star. The star means it's not saved yet. So I can just go image, save, and it's saved. Now, something else that I don't usually show, but I'll show it now. I'm going to go File, External Data, and there's a tick box. What this is going to do is it's actually going to put the image inside of the blend file. And it says down the bottom there, packed one file. That's quite handy. It means that you don't have to have two separate parts. That is a pretty good time saver. Now I'm going to go back to modeling, and I'm going to put in the circle that this camera is going to follow. I'm going to look from the top, clicking the letter Z. Shift A to add. I can't get what I want here because I'm in edit mode. So I'm going to go to object mode. Be careful that you're in object mode. Shift A. Now I get more options. I'm going to go to curve, circle. This circle's not big enough. Scale, S for scale. Pull away, and I make that circle touch the edge of the camera. Right about there. If I look from the side, they're not at the right height. So I'll look properly from the side, and I'll go G for grab, Z for the Z-axis, and pull it up until it's aligned with the camera. If I want to look through the camera, I can see my camera is pointing in the right direction. If yours is not, then I'm going to push the letter N. If you can't see through your camera, or your camera's not pointing in the right direction, come over here, there's a little arrow, or you can press the letter N for nose, and out will pop this extra choice of menus. Click View and choose Local Camera, and you can move that around, if not Local Camera, excuse me. Lock Camera to View, and the outside goes red, and you can zoom in and out if you need to. I don't for this case. Middle mouse click, go off to the side. Click the camera first. Hold down Shift, then left click the circle. Control P, follow path. Now this camera should follow the path. I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to hit play. It plays up until the playhead gets to 100, and then it looks like it's stopping because the default is to play for 250 frames. It'll loop back to the beginning, so I have to change that default value. Coming across to here, it's the second one down, looks a bit like a printer. It says context output when you hover over it. Change end to 100 and push enter. Now I need to check my lights. If I don't have lights, I can't see. So I need to see what it looks like under rendered mode. So hovering over here, I push Z and I get a whole bunch of options. I'm going to click rendered. And I can see that I've got some good light on this side, but probably too harsh of a shadow on that side. So a couple of things that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in new lights and a ground. I'll start with a ground. Shift A, this is in object mode. Add a mesh plane. I'm going to scale this much bigger. S for scale. 30 to go 30 times bigger. So now I've got a great big ground right there. It's cutting off half the monkey head. So I'm going to push it downwards. G for grab, Z for the Z-axis, and go downwards. So we can see a nice shadow on the ground. Some light will actually bounce off here and come up and hit the bottom of the monkey head. Probably 3 more lights I think would do. Shift A, light, point light. That point light is added right there, G, and I can start to move it around. This light probably doesn't have the same power level as the first one does. How do I check that? With that light highlighted, I click this context and I look, and that's only 10 watts. If you know anything about power of light bulbs, 10 watts is quite pathetic. I'm going to make that 100, and you can see it's now boosted that light level. I don't have horrible shadows, so I could leave it like that if I want to, but I'm going to get that light. How if I push the right button? and then I'm going to add in a sun. Add Shift A, sun. That's nice and bright. I'm going to grab that, bring it to the front, and I'm going to rotate it and aim it at the monkey head. So now we can see more lights everywhere. I think it's pretty much ready to go. It's always a good idea to save it first before you go into rendering because it can crash. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to check that I'm in the right render engine. So the second button down, render engine Eevee, that's nice and fast. And I click render, render animation, and I'll wait patiently. And that's going to take about 2.3 seconds per frame. You can zoom in and out if you want to and check and find details. I'm going to pause my recording. I just forgot to change one setting. Click the printer and change your output folder. Otherwise it goes to somewhere really difficult to find in a temporary directory. So I'm going to change this. Again, desktop, but make a new folder. Renders. And then accept. And then do that again. For speed purposes, if you want to, you could reduce the percentage, but I'm not going to. Render animation, and again, wait patiently. So I've now rendered my 100 frames. It's now time to go to Premiere Pro and stitch it together. I'm going to go and click New Project, and this is going to be monkey video. And then I'm going to put it in a place that I can find easily. You should stick it in your cloud, but for the demonstration I'm just going to stick it on my desktop. I go OK. The first thing I need to do is where it says import media, double click there. Then I'm going to my folder where my files are. I have to click the first picture, then go to options. If you don't click the picture first, then this option will be grayed out. So you've got to click 0001 first. Now when I click image sequence and I go import. If yours is on the cloud, it might take a little bit of time to come in, but essentially this, once it's got enough time, you can scrub back and forth by going left and right on the mouse. Now if I double click that, it'll bring my it'll bring this up into here, or it should in a moment. It's just looking a little bit strange. The other one is to click and drag and drop your media in here, and that is just taking a little bit of time. It's just not looking quite right on the screen. Let me just investigate. So if you double click this, it'll bring your media into this window. Then you can drag it down into this area. When I click play, it'll show the preview what it's ready to look like. So the next thing to do is to export the media. I'm going to go File, Export Media. I'm going to adjust the format, change QuickTime to H.264. Preset, I'm going to change to YouTube 1080 Full HD. And output name, click that and it'll change where it saves to. I know this one says desktop, but if you can't see where you want to go to, click the little down arrow and then you'll see more options. So you may then want to go to OneDrive. For my purposes, I'm putting it in the desktop. Save, and then click export. This will be nice and quick because it's a really short video. I'm now going to go to my desktop. And right here is my video. And I can hit play. And I'm done. That can then be uploaded anywhere I want it to.